Welcome to Being Sumon. My name is Uttav, and today I'm a little bit extra excited, obviously because of the guest, but also the fact that I wanted to cover Napoli for a long time, but I was not finding the right person, and it was all of a sudden I bumped into Alessandro Tione online, and he was almost like a god sent me, and he is the perfect person to talk about Napoli. So how's it going, Alessandro? And how was your weekend? Obviously, Napoli won 2-1 again, this time against Leeds. Did you watch the match?
Sì. Allora, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. Yeah, the weekend was very, very good because we won. So I don't know if you saw the match, but at the beginning we were losing 1-0, if I remember well, and we did a comeback, thanks God. And now I think that is beginning a new championship for us because we are, yeah, 9 points are too much, okay, but let me dream, okay. Yeah, football is not a science, so I really hope that all the big players are coming back from the injuries, so the the fingers are crossed, and I really hope that we can dream, okay. Yeah, it was a good weekend, and when in the entire city, when the Napoli make the right result, the mood of the city is completely
Changes,
good.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
us as football fans, there's this funny joke, So when we ask each other how was your weekend, it always depends on the match that was played. So if they won, then everything is good. The week is good, and if they lost, then until the next week we have to wait. Okay. For our viewers, Alessandro is a very good storyteller. I can already tell that because I watched one of his videos, and it was very good, by the way, and it has also got a very good response. Um, a professional photographer, and we'll talk about that later in this episode. Also, local in Naples, of course, he has this unique way of capturing the spirit of the city through his lens and storytelling. Today, we are going to talk about the history of Napoli and this beautiful, beautiful story about Maradona and his contribution to the club, and not just the club, but the whole city, and of course the recent success in Serie. Let's maybe start with a little bit about the city because it itself is interesting. Now, people often describe Naples as a chaotic, but they always say that it's full of life. You grew up here. How would you define Naples to an outsider?
It's a very open question. We can talk about a lot of things, but the first thing that I want to say that Napoli is really a unique city. Is not only a city, it's an entire world because for a lot of centuries, Napoli was a capital of an entire country with a very strong identity. And when you will come to visit Napoli for the first time, you can feel this identity because the people are so proud. We are so proud about our culture. We talk in our language, we listen our music. We have our own, I don't know, receipts. We respect a lot of tradition that are more or less are very similar all over the south. But in Napoli is, I don't know, uh, people are very, very, very proud about, I don't know, everything about their neighborhood, about their we defend each other, we defend our culture, our artists, our business, our things, and this is something that you can feel, you can touch it when you walk in the streets of this city, 100%. And I think is probably the first unique thing that you can feel immediately. The second thing, as you said, is the city is truly full of life. I mean, I think in Napoli, 100% is a city where you can talk with everybody, with a nonna in the streets, or is not, sometimes is the vision that people from abroad have about us. but sometimes it's true. I mean, you can really talk with everybody about everything. Of course, there are some teams, some um, I don't know. For example, football is something that can open a big conversation if you in the morning go inside a bar for a coffee and you listen. I don't know, some people that talk about football, you can introduce inside the conversation with them, and you can start about to talk about a lot of things. So and this is something that especially people from abroad immediately, and I'm a tour guide, and I work a lot with, for example, Dutch people or people from Belgium or from North Europe, and when I talk with them, they tell me it's incredible how the people here talk with everybody, and a lot of people that we don't know try to help us to find an address or to find a place, to find a restaurant, and blah blah blah. People are so friendly. Everybody wanna help us. We are enjoying these things. So I think it's something that you can immediately feel when you arrive in the city. And of course, as you said, and Napoli is a football city, 100%. I think is a mark of the city because you can really see how football culture, I mean, but football in the specific Napoli is so strong in the city. As I told you, the mood of the city depends from the result of the match of Napoli, but we love, and this is the character of Neapolitans, we love to express our passion. We love to express our love for, I don't know, idols, for or players or our teams and so on. But you can feel this love because all around the city there are colors, there are flags on the balcony, there are, I don't know, pieces of old newspaper of the 80s of from the Maradona era or from, I don't know, you can find a old scarf from the 90s in a shrine with the picture of Madonna and other things, or in the shrines that you can find in every vicolo. Vicolo are our street is the name because they are so small. We don't use the word strada, we use vicolo. In every vicolo in Napoli, we have a shrine for Madonna, for San Gennaro, for San Vincenzo, the saints, I mean. And usually, not always, but 80% of the time in this shrine, you can find, for example, a picture of Diego Maradona, or you can find a scarf of Napoli, a small flag, or just a sticker of Napoli. So you can find these tributes for our football team or for Diego all around the city, not only in the center of Napoli. If you will go in the north area of Napoli with all the beaches, usually you find flags in the sand of the beach of Diego or Napoli and so on. But yeah, yeah, is literally a unique city where you can feel the passion in general.
Yeah, I was watching a video, and there was this beautiful scene where one of the fans was holding the scarf, and in the scarf it was written, "Napoli is not Italy." And I can almost sense that when you explain this now. Of course, you also speak a different language, right? I mean, at home, I expect you to speak Neapolitan, or?
Sometimes, yeah, but usually when we are with friends, yeah, we spoke in Napoletano because it's so easy. It's so not easy. It's natural for us because it's our language. Also, I don't know if you know, but from when since we are kids, in the schools we learn in Italiano or in the television. Of course, there are so many movies, so many classic Neapolitan songs, for example, O Sole Mio, that is probably the most famous song of the world. Everybody knows O Sole Mio. But yeah, when I'm with friends is a mix between Italiano and Napoletano. But depends from the situation. I don't know, if I'm very nervous, I speak only Neapolitan. What you read on the scarf about Napoli is not Italy is a very is another we can talk all the night, believe me, because it's a very interesting team. Because yeah, today we are part of Italy, of course, is only one country, but the reality is that still today in 2026 we have two Italy. I mean, in terms of quality of the life, in terms of service, in terms of a lot of the economic situation. The north is another part of Italy, and the south is another Italy. So when we say, or when you read the Napoli is not Italy, we have to go back before the unity of Italy. I mean, in the 1861, because Napoli, as I told you before, was the capital of the Kingdom of the South, that for 9 or 10 centuries was the Kingdom of Napoli, and then became the Kingdom of two Sicilies, that was the Kingdom of Napoli and the Kingdom of Sicily together. And the capital was Napoli. So for more or less 1000 year, the South was an independent nation. Okay, with our tradition, our stuff, our things, and Napoli had the status of a capital. And you have to imagine that this kingdom was more big than Portugal. So in geographic terms, the size of this kingdom was huge, and was the kingdom with the control of the Mediterranean area. I mean, in terms of business, was a very important reference. And after the 1861, the south was conquered by the north, and became part of Italy. But it's so strange because we still talk two different languages. I mean, Neapolitans is a real language, recognized by UNESCO as Sicilian. But I mean, in terms of lifestyle and so many other things, I mean, it's a fact. It's not my imagination. We are different, and it's not a racist thing for nothing. I mean, just two different populations, and so a lot of people, when after the unity of Italy, a lot of people from the south started to emigrate to the north to change their life, to improve their life. The people from the south built literally the north as we know today. I mean, all the people that started to work inside the industries, the factories, were people from mostly, not all, of course, mostly of them were from the south. And a lot of people that from the north today have a lot of surnames from the south: Esposito, Cirillo, so many things. New generation, but their nonno, their nonni, grandparents were born here. So so the option were two: north of Italy or America. I mean, for America, I mean North America and South America. A lot of people arrived in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, so in the Atlantic coast of America, and South America, in the specific in São Paulo, Brazil, and Buenos Aires. So this is the reason why in Buenos Aires they call us Tano,
Oh,
Napoletano, and there is a huge connection between Napoli, in general Italy, because the two harbor where the immigrants started their travel to America were Genova and Napoli. So all the people from the south started their travel from Napoli, and all the people from the north started from Genova. And there is a very important connection between Genova and Boca Juniors, Xeneises. So there is all these stories. It's so beautiful. But a lot of people from the south emigrated to, and in the specific from Napoli in Argentina, and this is the first brick between our culture, Napoli, and Argentina. And then I say the connection was super strong, but Diego built the bridge between the two countries, you know? And so, but if you will go in Argentina, I don't know if you've never been there, you can really feel an Italian culture of the past that here probably doesn't exist anymore, but you can touch it in a way or another. And yeah, Napoli is not Italy is a very very I don't know. We can talk a lot about these things. I say that today, of course, we are only one country. We are not nostalgic, but what I really miss and what I really is something inside my stomach that I really want is the, I don't know how to say, but the I wanted the true on the storybook, because when I don't know, also personally, when I went in the high school, in my history book, the story was always the same. I mean, the winners wrote history. And if you open a book of history, a general book of history, you find always the same story. The South was not a developed country, was, I don't know, was the always the same dirty South.
Uh,
And they conquered us to bring the evolution and blah, 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 blah. And this is what I don't like. And you can find always the same chapter, and you it's difficult to read the Kingdom of Two Sicilies or the Kingdom of Napoli. You read only South,
mm,
and I don't like it. And after the unity, the South was not independent at all, and a lot of people resisted, like partisan of the time, to defend their land. And they called us, and they called them, the people that defended their land, briganti. That in century after century, this word became like a negative word, like terrorist, or like someone that don't wanna accept the new royal family. But they were just farmers that were defended their land just from an invasion, just that. So Napoli is not Italy. I don't know. I wanna be part of. I wanna that this country give me the possibility to feel Italian. But at the moment, we are on the bad way, still in 2026.
I understand. And also, when you mentioned the bridge between Argentina and Italy, there is actually a joke in Argentina where basically the people say that Argentinians are basically Italians who speak Spanish, you know? So there's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
huge immigration or immigrants from Italy, and then you can already feel the culture when you're in the capital or elsewhere in Argentina. Now, it is said that pizza is originated in Naples. Now, when they say this, do they mean a specific type of pizza, for example, pizza margherita or Neapolitan pizza, or it's just in general? What is the truth here?
We don't have a real truth. I mean, about some historian, the pizza was born during the Roman Empire, or was not a real pizza like we know today, like a wheel, but was more like a focaccia, so more square. And the tomato was something that was not in Italy, arrived from the America. So the pizzas we know today, Pizza Margherita or Marinara, was born just after the discovering of America with a lot of. If you wanna read a novel, there is a kind of label or a sign in the street of Napoli in the Quartieri Spagnoli, there is a sign in this pizzeria was born La Pizza Margherita, that was just during our visit of the first royal family of Italy. So after the unity of Italy, the royal family was Savoia family, and when they visit Napoli for the first time, I mean with the queen and blah blah blah, a pizza guy decided to make a kind of tribute for her, and he invented this pizza with the same color of the Italian flag. So the green was for the basil, white or mozzarella, and the tomato sauce was the red. So, and for this occasion, for
That
this
makes the
specific,
Italian flag, right?
yeah, the Italian flag, and for this specific moment, this pizza guy told to the queen, "This pizza is for you, and we can call this pizza Margherita because the name of the queen was Margherita di Savoia." So, but pizza is of course, probably the most famous one is the pizza napoletana, as we make is a tradition under the protection of UNESCO. But the pizza, you can find pizza all over the world, of course. And if you will go in New York, they will tell you that the pizza was born in New York. Okay, so, but I just can say to you that here in Napoli is a very important, popular, and traditional meal from a lot of centuries. So I don't know if was born there, but I can tell you that is a mark and something that you can't lost when you come here in the city.
Okay. To our viewers, the art of Neapolitan pizza making is recognized by UNESCO as a cultural heritage, right? So you can already imagine the importance of pizza in Naples. And not just pizza, there's a unique coffee tradition called Caffè Sospeso, right? Can you tell us a little bit what it means?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Another, not meal, but the most important drink of the city is the coffee. And I think here in Napoli, we invented the espresso tradition. I mean, the super short one. And yeah, from a lot of time, il caffè sospeso is a kind of, I don't know how to say in English, but is a way to give the possibility to people that don't have money to buy a coffee. You can pay an extra one for someone that don't have the possibility to buy it. And of course, the barman know who are the people that can't buy. And in we are Mediterranean people. I mean, we are not people that want to find the luxury or the I don't know, the millions or something like. But the real luxury is that everybody in the city can drink a coffee. So if you can give the opportunity to someone to don't miss their daily coffee, is the is something that give you richness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
And
Yeah.
this is the caffè sospeso tradition. Give the possibility to everybody to drink their daily coffee. And of course this methodology is also for the pizza. Of course, for people that don't have the possibility to buy it, you can pay an extra one for them. So, sì.
Okay. Okay. How does it feel to live in the shadows of Mount Vesuvius? For our viewers, it's kind of like if we can go back to history, then in 79 AD, it erupted and completely destroyed and buried cities like Pompeii.
Yeah.
And I think it is still considered as an active volcano, right?
one of the most dangerous in the world.
And does it affect people who is living there, or they're kind of like calm by the fact that when it is going to erupt, they'll probably get signs of warnings months before by the meteorological or geological agencies? How does it feel?
Man, we have a very good relationship with him. I mean, uh, we call him the king, okay? But you have to know that in Napoli we have so many old way to say, and one of them is ogni giorno può essere l'ultimo. That means every day can be the last one. Is a kind of memento vivi, cioè remember to live the present, because in front of you, you have a reminder that tomorrow, there is no tomorrow, probably. Okay. So also if, of course, Vesuvio is super monitoring Volcano, is active, is one of the most dangerous in the world. But you have to know that it's not only the Vesuvio, because Napoli is a city between two big volcanoes. The Vesuvio that is the classic volcano like a mountain, but in the north area of Napoli there is another volcano that potentially is more dangerous than Vesuvio, and the name is Campi Flegrei. That is an entire area with a huge volcano underground. You can see two things: the smell of zolfo. I don't know which is the translation of zolfo, but you can
Yes, Safra, yeah.
exactly. And you can see the gas. And believe me, in this area of Napoli, every month there is a small or a big earthquake. So it's super, super active. And I told you, it's obligatory to have a good relationship with this thing. Because if you have every day you have bad things in your mind. I mean, the things that life put put in your head every day. If you think also the volcano there, the other volcano there, and you stop to live, you know. And we say, look him, the king is sleeping. Yeah. And everything is good for now. But yeah, remember to live the present, because we don't know if there is tomorrow. And another way to say is, and this comes from the huge theater Napolitan tradition, ad passà nottata, that was a quote from Edoardo De Filippo, that was a comedian from Napoli. Ad passà nottata, that means we have to wait the night, and we have to wait the next morning, you know? So we can leave all our problems of the other day, and we can start a new day. If we have a new day, you know, for the volcanoes and so on. So see, this is you can understand a lot of our character, of our lifestyle. And I say always that probably the reason why we have so many energies, or we are so explosive, let me use this word, is because we really live with the fire under our feet. So uh, is the truth. I think that this energy or this passion come from the land, or that surrounding us is surrounding us. So it's just my interpretation.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. And Alessandro, what's your favorite hidden gem story about Naples? I mean, football or just local life that most outsiders never heard, Maybe just one.
And I the gem about everything. Oh man.
But if you have to pick just one, what would that be? I mean, that most of the people who is visiting Naples for the first time have no idea about.
Oh, let me think. No, nobody told me a question like that. Ah, oh Jesus.
I
Uh,
mean, of course, you move to the city every day, and there are like so many things, and it is difficult to just pick just one, but if there is something that comes to your mind, this nobody knows about it.
And man, believe me, there are so many things. For example, um, sometimes when I met people that come in Napoli for the first time ever, um, I sometimes I wanna try to explain them the small conversation of the people in the. For example, I wanna give you an example. Yesterday, uh, the weather was beautiful. Believe me, it was beautiful. There were a beautiful sun and so on. There were a old man in a corner in the street that was like that, very close to the wall with the eyes closed, and he was just enjoying the sun. Okay, it was nothing. And another guy from the other street told him, he called him by name, so he said, Vincenzo, don't take all the sun for you. So I, cioè, s- if I explain to you this thing, yeah, you can laugh, of course, but to live these things every day is difficult to especially for people that come from abroad, to explain these small things, the everyday life conversation. Also, just you can understand also that people just want to enjoy the sun very close to the wall and to be relaxed. You can understand. And another guy just to having fun, say, please don't take all the sun for you. Leave just a bit for us, for the rest of the city. So this is probably, of course, yeah, when people come here, they have to discover the food tradition that is so important to understand us. The football culture, our cultural heritage, for me is so important because from the history, I mean from the collection, from the drawings, from the ruins, from the archaeological sites or from the churches, you can understand a lot of us. Really,
Mm,
really.
okay.
In Napoli, for example, we have more than 200 churches, and you can see how the influence of the church is still strong in the city. And this is the reason why the Sunday morning people go to the church or the nonnas pray, or when they walk very close in the vicolo under the shrine, they make the cross sign or say, please, San Gennaro, give me a good sign. Or there are so many things, but from the small everyday conversation, small day gesture, or just from this thing, I think when you start to learn how to read the city with your eyes, you can start to you can make the level up and understand the Neapolitan culture.
Okay, I understand. Very nicely and beautifully put. Thanks. How did you become a Napoli fan, Alessandro? And when was it?
When I was a kid, not properly a kid, because you have to know that I grew up, like, unfortunately, like a lot of people of my generation, in a family where football was and still is so important. But my dad is a Milan fan. My sister is a Juventus fan, and my nonno was an Inter fan. So all of them supported three the most important football team of the North. And when I was a kid, I chose the football team of my father to not
A-
disappoint him.
AC Milan.
And so I grew up with looking only two team in the TV, Juventus and AC Milan. My name is Alessandro because the idol of my sister was Alessandro Del Piero.
Oh
So
my God. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And when I was a kid, in my mind, Napoli was in bankrupt. Napoli was refounded when I was 7 years old, 8 years old. So, okay, you are very young at 8 years old, but I remember that in 8 years I saw Italy won the Mondial. I saw AC Milan won in 2003 the first Champions League, the Champions League in Manchester against Juventus. So in my house there were this rivalry. And in 2007, I remember in 2005 the final in Istanbul against Liverpool 0-3, 3-3, and in Athens. So I was young, yeah, but I saw very important matches, and I discovered Napoli for the first time in 2008, more or less, when I discovered that my city had a football team. I started to make a lot of uh, reflections. I don't know how to say. I started to think. I have a football team, sorry, in my city. Why I have to support something that don't represent me? Because probably you already know, but here the football team is not only a football team. I mean, in Napoli we have only Napoli, so the football team and the city are only one thing. And a football victory is a victory in general for the entire city, for the entire culture, and for all what we represent. And this is the reason why it's super strong. But if you go outside Napoli, in the south, a lot of people support the football team from the north. Mostly of them, I mean, in Sicily or in Calabria, but also in Caserta, that is only, I don't know, 15, 20 kilometers from Napoli, very, 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 very close. A lot of them are Juventus supporter. And this is something in the south, but you can understand a lot of the Italian history, because if you check the Italian map, you can see that all the Scudettos or the trophy are in the north, in the specific between Torino and Milano. In the south, you have only 4 Scudetto. Us, Napoli. Stop. But under Napoli, there is another country. There is Sicily, there is Calabria, Basilicata, Puglia, and so on, with a lot of historical football teams. And they never won nothing. I mean, no Italian Cup, that is a small trophy here. Nothing. In South, for Scudetto. And there is an historical Scudetto in Sardinia, in Cagliari, with Gigi Riva in the 70s, and in the center with Lazio and Roma. But I mean, geographically, in the south, Napoli, for stop. So, but we can say, Neapolitans, and thanks God, after the 3rd Scudetto and after the 4th Scudetto, a lot of generation of the people in the south are supporting Napoli. When I was kid in the football school, there were only, and me too. I was one of them. I was with the AC Milan jersey, and a lot of people were there with the jersey of Juventus, of AC Milan, Inter. Today, the kids have the jersey of Napoli, and this is believe me, this is a very important changing for us, because it's not only football. To support the team of the South is a choice. And if you, from Napoli, of course, you support the football team of your city. And when you watch that your city or your football team is winning the championship, believe me, something completely different. Because your city is winning between the reach and the power of the North. For me, it's so important, this thing. Believe
I
me.
understand. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the football club? When was it formed, and how did this idea come when this happened?
You have to know that Napoli, as we know today, was born in 1926, and this year will be the centenario. So 1st of August, it will be our 100th birthday, centenario that we say in Italiano. But Napoli was born before, if I remember well, in 1905, and from the unity of Napoli Cricket Club and another,
Really?
yeah, and another small team was born the first football club of the city. But Napoli, as we know today, was born in 1926, and Napoli from the beginning. Imagine when was made the foundation, the mascot of Napoli could be. I don't know if you've seen my video, but I did a small reel about it.
Oh,
Uh, was the horse, because you have to know that the horse in general was a very important symbol of the royal family of the kingdom of Napoli. So the horse, and still today, is one of the logo of the city. We have so many representation of the horse in our museums, or on the walls of very huge important palace here. But was an idea of the because Napoli had to represent the power and the elegance of the horse. But when Napoli was founded, never won nothing. So, and you can understand a lot of our character. A supporter from the stands, according to the legend, said, "But this Napoli is not a horse; is a donkey." And from this thing, the mascot of Napoli became a donkey. And yeah, and still today, the donkey is the mascot of Napoli. I really hope that for the centenario, the horse will come back on. I mean, on our colors. But I have to say another thing, that the history of the city, but in the specific of the football club of Napoli, was for a 70% a donkey, and for a 40 for Scudetto percent a horse. I really hope, I really hope that, I don't know, one day we can be for a long time horses and not donkeys. Also, if the donkeys are very smart and very strong, because also if they don't have the power of the horse, they have the capability to resist. And Napoli is a city that survived and resisted to the history, to a lot of things, to the Purti, to the Second World War, to all the invasion that crossed our history. So inside of us, we are a bit donkey. So
okay. I understand. Now, when Napoli won the third Scudetto, now for our viewers, when you say Scudetto, we mean the Serie title. Now, having experienced that for the first time, I mean, you, when you were a kid, you seen the worst part, right? Even I think when they played in the lower divisions. How did it feel for you? Can you tell us how it is celebrated in the city? I can imagine people were out in the streets the whole day and night. How was that
man,
feeling?
believe me, the third for a lot of generation of Neapolitans was the first one. Because you have to know that before the winning of the third, for a lot of people in the city in general, Napoli was like condemned to not win never again. Because in the mind of a lot of people, we don't have Maradona, we don't have Maradona anymore, we don't have another player like him in the history, we can't win again. But there was this bad mentality, like if Napoli was condemned to not win never again. And to see the victory of the third was not only was I don't know, the fact that this city can win is the proof that Napoli, the South, can win. And I told you, a lot of generation of Neapolitans never saw a Scudetto. I mean, a very important trophy, because before the third we won a Super Cup, an Italian Cup, but for us in the Italian culture, these trophies are small. The Scudetto is important. Of course, after the Scudetto, the Champions League. But if we want to stay in the titles of our Liga, Serie A, Scudetto is the top, of course. And to see the old city blue and white, what, believe me, the days before the victory, the mathematic victory, the city really a bomb with the clock. And every day I remember that with some friends of mine, we went in different neighborhoods every week to see how the city was changing. I mean, a new
Wow.
a new banner, a new phrase, a new mural, a new stuff. And that year we were so strong. The difference between the first football team and the second one was like 13 or 15 points of difference. So we smashed the entire. But you know, and this is the difference between the third and the fourth. Because the third one, and I told you was the first one for a lot of us, was give us the proof that Napoli can win, and was the first title after Maradona after 33 years. And imagine that for a city where football is so central, so important, to win after 33 years was something that, I don't know, the city explode. You can find the video on YouTube. The city was lit. Every street was blue and white, blue and white. And believe me, before the victory, a lot of us grow up with the memories of our parents. You can understand what was the first Scudetto. The first will be always the first, never replace the first. Okay, okay. But let me dream. I wanna see Napoli that win every, not every 33 years, but I wanna stay there, I mean, on the top of the table every year. This is, I think, the mentality that we had, because this is something that make a turn in your mind, not only in football, not only in football. If you start to think that you have to stay there, also your city, and you will make everything to try to improve your city. I mean, the quality, the services, and et cetera. But man, the city exploded, and with the four Scudetto of 1 year ago, more or less, yeah, in May will be 1 year, was more unexpected, of course, because we won with just 1 point of difference with Inter, but was a battle. 1 week you are on the top. Draw. Top, down, top, down, 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 down. We won in the last game of the season against Cagliari, and we did the, I don't know, the step up on Inter. And I don't know if you saw the choreography of Napoli during the last match against Cagliari. The supporters of my sector of the stadium, Curva B, did this beautiful choreography that was probably the first ever made with AI, but this is just a thing. But is so, if you check online, is so representative, because you can see three kids. The title was Avanti Scugnizi. Scugnizi is a Neapolitan word to describe, especially in the past, the kids that lived in the street and to survive, they steal something, or they make illegal work, or they try to survive the day. I mean, if a pizza guy, I give you €2, can you wash me the area around the pizzeria? So just this kind of jobs, they live the day, I mean. And you can see in this choreography a kid, a scugnizzo with the Napoli jersey, that is stealing is the word, the Scudetto from the jersey of the Inter kid, and is a kind of running. And he was, and is the I mean, you are going on the top of the table. So, and on the background there are two figure. One on the left that is a woman that is screaming, and three kids on the right side. The three kids represent the three titles that Napoli already won, and they are supporting the guy that is stealing the Scudetto from Inter. So they are go, 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 go. And on the other side, the woman that is screaming is the representation of Italy, that they don't want to see us on the top of the table. So, no, is it possible? And he's, "Ah!" And we this is a connection also. Napoli is not Italy. Sorry if I interrupt you, but you know that I don't wanna, I don't know how to say, but is the history, is a fact. The most important football team of in Italy, of our country, not of our of our country, are AC Milan, Inter, and Juventus. They won the trophies, but another thing is they have the highest audience in the country, and the brand is so strong also abroad. Okay, Napoli, have is famous for the last two Scudettos, for Maradona, of course, but if you think the history of AC Milan, Inter is huge, is a fact. They have Champions League and so on and so on. And can you imagine if one of these three football team can't win a championship? Is a very loss. Is a very loss for the. They move the 70-80% of the audience. So TV rights, selling of jersey, shirts, Champions League tickets, so many. Is a huge business. Napoli is only Napoli, okay? And yeah, we have supporters because Neapolitans are all over the world. Thanks God, in a lot of people from the south are starting to support us. But these three teams that I told you, they move the audience of Italian football all over the world. So it's not possible, cioè, to see a team of the South on the top of the table is not something that happens every day. And to one Scudetto with us is importantissimo, is so important. Like, of course, the Scudetto of Gigi Riva with Cagliari in the 70s. And this is the fact that I dream that can change, because I want a more football team of the South in Serie A. I wanna that our football became more competitive, to increase the competition. All the team in all the country have to make us. They have to turn in high level. You know what I mean?
I just it was very interesting for me to know how your perspective on these things, and I can completely resonate on what you were saying. Just wanted to know, in this 2022-23 season, when you won the third Scudetto, Victor Osimhen played an important part, if not the main part, in winning the title. No?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, highest goal scorer, and he was the first African player to win the Italian Golden Boot. And of course, he signed a new contract. Everything was going normal, and everybody was happy. And what happened after that? And secondly, I also want to know, how do the Neapolitans see him now? Is he still see him as a hero from the 2022-23, a club legend, or it has something it has changed over time and they see it a little bit differently now?
I I want to start from this question because I have something on my lung. Uh, you have to know that if you win here, you will be immortal. You will be always a legend of this city. Of course, there are people that don't like him, but I think that uh, I don't know how can you hate an hero of the third? No, I mean, but not only on the third. He spent, yeah, it probably is not good how we say goodbye to each other. Was not the good way, okay? And man, but believe me, I dream Aussie that that imagine if Aussie stayed with us still
Mm,
today with De Bruyne and so many other things. For me, I I miss him. Of course, I don't like how we say goodbye. I told you, but Aussie is one of the best striker of his generation, and he is so strong. He is so probably top 5 scorer around the world, actually. And I don't know. I think that a true Neapolitan never ate Ossi or Kvara. Never, never. They will be part of our history forever, forever. There is a huge mural in Castel Volturno that is very close to Napoli of Osi, an entire building with a mural of Osimhen. For me, his mask is forever. I don't know. No, I'm really, really, I miss him. I miss
yeah.
him.
But who do you think was the fault? It happened in the way that it had really happened. And do you actually blame the management, or it was kind of like a combination of both the player and management in the Napoli?
Good question. I think that the question about Ossi, I don't know what happened in the specific, but I know that after the victory of the third, or the season after, there were a gentleman agreement between Napoli Football Club and him to leave the club. Because of course, was after the winning of the Scudetto, Ossi had a good spotlight on him and all the big I remember a big offer of Paris Saint-Germain for him and Kvara that was rejected. And I don't know that this moment was the break point when everything went down. But there were the question about the video on TikTok. I don't know if you remember. Um, I think that the fact about the video was just an excuse to break and to close the relationship, because I think that Ozzy wanna leave the team, and the president said, "No, you have to stay." And this is probably the moment when, unfortunately, because he arrived in 2020. He stayed with us 3 years. He won. He did another season on the bench. Was terrible when we finished 10 in on the table. Was a terrible season after the third Scudetto. We changed 3 managers, and no Ossi played few games. Was horrible. And I remember that when Conte arrived there, in the pre-season in Trentino, where Napoli used it to make the pre-season, there were a conversation between them, and Conte say, "Do you wanna stay? Stay, 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 stay." He said, "No. The relationship with the president and with the society is a shit. I don't wanna continue here, unfortunately.
I think, yeah.
No, imagine him now with us.
Yes,
Will be
that's exactly,
amazing.
that's what I wanted. And also with Kavara, it would have been insane team. But I think he had already made his mind, like you said. But for example, if tomorrow, because he's still young, right? I think he's 27 or 28, I don't know. But if the circumstances changes and then I mean, imagine if he comes, if he comes back to Napoli, would the fans accept him?
Eh, I'm the first that I will wait him to the airport. So I don't know which one will be the reaction of a lot. I don't know. I think
I
that
mean, in
a
reality,
lot.
it is never going to happen. But I just wanted to ask how would the fans react? Would they accept him or you say no, your time is over here?
I wanna try to make a comparison. Gonzalo Higuain, okay, that moved from Napoli to Juventus. That is the most terrible thing that you can make to a Neapolitan fan. Okay, man, Higuain was insane. I will be always grateful for what he did for us. He was beautiful to see. It was beautiful, and also if he moved to, yeah, I was really angry when he moved to Juventus. Really, really broken my heart, really. But when you grow up, now I have, if I think about Higuain, I think only what he lived in Napoli, all the beautiful memories, all the beautiful victory, all the beautiful goal, and this way to think is the same thing that I make with Ozzy. But this is just my personal way to see, my point of view. I think that a lot of people don't want to see him anymore, unfortunately, because he amazing, I'm sure. Yeah, but I don't know what I
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
but
yeah. Like I said, probably it's never going to happen. Just a fun question from my side. And yeah, and I have this separate section for Diego Maradona, because I have a special, or let's say, a kind of like an interest in him. So in Naples, Maradona seems to be everywhere, right? Now, how do you see him? How do you see him as a person? Of course, he's known as a larger than life character, right? So he's considered a saint or an angel in many places in Naples. How do you see him, not just as a footballer, but just as a human being, and what he gave to the city?
what he give to the city, the most important thing, the conviction that we can win against everybody. And this is something that go outside from the pitch. This is something that we learn thanks to his interview, and that he turned his words in facts. And you have to know, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about Diego, but that you can understand. He did a lot of charity to the poor kids in the orphanotrophy. There are so many things that he always tried to have hide. I don't know, that he don't wanna that these things came out to not. uh, But all the people that met Diego in life, of course, everybody told us that the man was better than the player, because he was very, very kind, very good, very helpfully also with the players and the staff of Napoli, to give them salary when the society don't have the money to pay them. But there is a very important episode where you can understand a lot about him. In 1985, um, there were a guy from a kid at the time in Acerra, that is a small city very close to Napoli, and the family of this guy tried to organize a friendly match between Napoli and some players from Acerra, not professional players, and with the money of this match to pay the cure, is the word, I don't know, for this kid, for the cancer of this kid. And the president of Napoli of the time, Ferlaino, said, no, impossible. I can't risk the injury of the players. Maradona said, no, no Maradona. Diego said, no, I don't care about. I will take the responsibility of all the players and we will go there to play for this guy and to take the money, to catch money for him. And there are the videos on YouTube. They went to play in a pitch that was, we say in Italiano, un campo. Campo is pitch di patate, a potatoes pitch that was terrible. With the ground was not a professional pitch, and they went there to play. Don't thinking about the injuries, don't thinking about the risk, just for this kid to play, to take the money for this kid. And also from these things you can understand about Diego.
Yes, what you're saying is correct, but sometimes I wonder. So, why do you think Maradona chose Napoli? Because honestly, he could have gone anywhere in this world. I mean, everybody would have accepted him with open arms. What do you think Maradona understood about Naples that other players never did?
I think that he understood the situation of the city. He understood, and there is a quote by him that he once he said that Napoli remember him Buenos Aires, the poor people of Buenos Aires. And I think that when Diego arrived here and understood the situation of the city and the situation of a lot of people, he did a promise to himself to 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 try to make this city champion for the first time ever. I mean, I don't know how Diego chose Napoli. Of course, Napoli was the only football team to pay to buy him, to propose really a concrete proposal to buy him. But uh, I think that the next step was Diego understood that to come here and to choose a football and a city and a football team that was not on the map was a kind of challenge with himself to put us on the map. I mean, and if I have to show to all the world that I am Maradona, I will take these people I mean the football team and the city on my shoulders, and I will bring them on the top of the table. And because the situation when we bought him from Barcelona, he was injured, he was sick, he was in in a very bad situation in his career. Uh, he became here to show to the world that he was the best. And if you think, and my father told me anytime, because my father, I don't tell you before, my father is a AC Milan supporter, but he is super Maradoniano. And when Diego arrived in Napoli, he did the season ticket to San Paolo just to watch him. And when Diego arrived in Napoli, he told me there were a kind of wind of hope. A superhero from Argentina is coming in the city to bring us on the top. So, and believe 80,000 people to the San Paulo just to the presentation of him. What what do you expect? There were people on the stairs. The people paid just to see him and to give him the welcome. So
I think, believing is one thing, right? But doing it not once, but twice, it's unbelievable. So whenever I look into this story, Maradona and Napoli, there are so many impossible things, and still it worked out so nicely. And then he gave the first Scudetto. It's an amazing story. I always go back to it and then listen it time over time. But for a Maradona or a Napoli fan in general, which neighborhood is a must visit where they can connect instantly and feel his presence even now?
Today, of course, Quartieri Spagnoli for the mural. And you have to know that today the mural in Quartieri Spagnoli is one of the most visited places in Italy. And the area of the mural there is no regulation. I mean, you don't have to pay the ticket to go there. It's a public space. And according to, I don't remember, Corriere della Sera, a very important journal, newspaper in Italy, there were a graduatory, and after the Colosseum, the most visited place in Italy was Largo Maradona, the mural of Diego Maradona. But you have to know that, of course, around this mural were born Pizzeria Maradona, Bar Maradona, lot of mural, a lot of things. Maradona is giving the food to a lot of Neapolitan families still today. People immediately think Quartieri Spagnoli for the mural, of course. But today, from 2020, from the death of Diego, the name of the stadium changed from San Paolo to Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. But of course, in Quartieri Spagnoli, maybe you have more iconography of Diego is literally everywhere, but the passion for him or the love for him is all over the city, of course. And I think what you can find in Quartieri Spagnoli is just the touristic stuff, is just only what people from abroad want to see. But if you want to discover the real love of people, you have to start a conversation with a random Neapolitan in the street, or to go inside a not touristic fancy bar and start to talk with people there. And of course, there are beautiful murals or beautiful tributes around the city, not famous, not touristic, and that if you know, you know. But in Quartiere Spagnoli, it's just the 1% of things. It's just fancy stuff.
I was saying the Maradona mural in Quattro Spagnoli. It has this story about this window, right, where it opens only
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
you win the Scudetto.
Yeah, the face of the mural, you have to know that the mural in Largo Maradona in Quartieri Spagnoli is one of the oldest tributes for Diego, but was made in 1991 to celebrate the second Scudetto, and was made by Mario Filardi, that was just a normal guy that was very, very good to draw. He was a local from Quartieri Spagnoli, and he did this mural to celebrate the victory and stop. But unfortunately, this guy died very young, and for a lot of years, the mural was in really bad condition. Back in the days in 2015, an artisan from Quartieri Spagnoli decided to make a renovation of this mural. He started to paint, to make the new color, the new border, and so on, a new face. And the face was painted on a wall of an house, and to not lose the mural and to don't disturb the house, the artisan make a proposal to the owner of the house. I will make a window made with wood, but I will paint the face of Diego on this wood. He take the I don't know, the sides perfectly, and he put this window there, perfetto, perfect. And this window is the window of the bathroom of this house. And mostly of the time is always closed. I can tell you that I can count on the finger of of only one hand the time that I saw the window open. I mean, completely open was when Napoli won. No, first when Argentina won the Mundial in 2022 in Qatar. You have to know that there were the entire Argentinian community, European community, so all the Argentinians that live in Europe decided to watch the final in Napoli, in Largo Maradona, under the Mural. And after the victory, window open, and this guy was celebrating with all the Argentinian and Neapolitans together. Was amazing, amazing. And third Scudetto, of course, and fourth Scudetto. I mean, completely open, when where you can see the face of Diego. But yeah, sometimes it's always a bathroom have to stay open. The window have to stay open, you know. Sì, 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 sì. But the face of Diego is painted on a window. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
True.
Just wanted to know because people know that Maradona mural and the museum, of course, but where did he actually live in his time in Naples? Is it still private property or it is turned into some kind of a memorial now?
No, 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 no. The house of Diego in Napoli was in Via Scipione in Posillipo, probably the most beautiful neighborhood of the city, very close to the sea. It's amazing. No, but actually it's a private apartment. But if you will go in this street, you can see there is a sign. Sign is the word. Is a kind of,
Yes, yes,
you know,
a signboard.
sign.
Yeah.
Sì,
Mhm.
sì, esatto. On the balcony. And you can read something like, "In this house lived Diego Armando Maradona, 1984, 1991." All the 7 years of Diego, he lived there. And yeah, but no, today is a and if you will watch the documentary La Hija de Dios, that is the documentary that Dalma Maradona, the first daughter of Diego, did during the pandemic or before, I don't remember, but Dalma went in the house where she lived in Napoli with his father and his mother back in the days. And yeah, it's a private apartment today. See, but it's not a famous. I mean, only the real Maradoniano go in Via Scipione, because there is nothing to see. And another very important place of the life of Diego in Napoli was Centro Paradiso, that was the training center of Napoli in Soccavo. Soccavo is a neighborhood of Napoli. And after Napoli went in bankrupt in 2004, this place was abandoned. But from I think 2 years or 1 year, the Fabio Cannavaro Foundation bought this place. And I think that they will make a football school for kids. But believe me, for more than 20 years was abandoned. I mean, place where Maradona and the players of the first and second Scudetto trained was abandoned. And a lot of people asking me, why? How is it possible? Is a temple, was a temple, is still in the mind of a lot of people. People ask me, I want to go there to visit. And I say, guys, there is nothing to visit. You can't go inside. You can't. Unfortunately, I think that we lost with Centro Paradiso, we lost a very important place. Of course, Fabio Cannavaro will make something, and I'm happy of that. But I mean, Napoli football team lost an opportunity to make, I don't know, a training center, or to make a museum, or to make something for a neighborhood that is not inside the center of the city. And thanks to Centro Paradiso, could change, I know, something. But just to give a pitch to this neighborhood for the kids. just a pitch.
No, when you mentioned that the home ground of Napoli is changed from San Paolo to Diego Armando Maradona, I think that is the biggest tribute or respect you can pay to a person who is not even born in Italy. You know, he was maybe there for what 7 or 8 years maybe, but amazing story. I mean, I this kind of stories really moves me, right? So the amount of love and respect the city has for this person is amazing to see and witness. And I personally don't think any other person. I mean, of course, there are good players now, but I don't see that happening again. You know, so the impact that one player lives in a city, it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, of course, you know, Napoli is able to attract big players now. We can talk about De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Scott McTominay. What do you think is the reason behind that? I mean, is the third Scudetto triggered that thing that now the people or outsiders or the big players, they see it as a potential to play and win something there?
But this is is a good question. But I think the times changed a lot. I mean, yeah, we have big players and we have players that can make the difference. And I told you also for Osi and also for Kvara and today for McTominay and Kevin De Bruyne and etc. But the difference, I think, is just my interpretation. What Diego did for the city, he chose to come in a city, in a football team that never won nothing, that was on the second place of the table. I mean, was a lower level, and he bring us on the top. And my father told me, especially for the first Scudetto, the football team was not great. I mean, the other players. The second Scudetto, the entire football team was really good with Careca and all the other players, but what we did with the third victory and the four, I mean that we had a very good a very good group. And but I told you, if you win here, you of course there is not the same like Diego, of course, but Osi, Kvara, Lobotka, Di Lorenzo, all these players will be immortal in this city. Literally. It's not comparable with Diego because Diego was a revolution guy. He was something that went always against the power, against the rich, against not only with the, I mean, on the pitch, but also with the word and with fact. You know, he went in television to say a lot of things, a lot of. He was always with his idea. He was an icon. When we talk about Diego, we don't talk only about football. We talk about social justice. We talk about, I don't know, against racism. We talk against the power. He went in television when he went back in Italy in 2017, and during a general interview with a very famous Italian journalist, and the journalist told him, Diego, do you want to say something? Everything. Say whatever you want. Tell us something that you want to say in television here. And he said, I want to say that the United States of America are not the owners of the world. So he made he, this is the from this thing you can understand that he was not nor he was an icon, literally, and in the bad things and in the good things, he showed us how a god can fall like a human. How can a human can become a legend, a god? You have to know that here, very close to my neighborhood, I live in Rione Sanità, that is a popular neighborhood. Very close here, there is another neighborhood, Mater Dei. In a vicolo, in a street, there is a beautiful tag, not tag, I mean like a sign where you can read the name of the street, and there is this quote: "Grazie Diego, perché ci hai insegnato che anche un chico del barrio può diventare leggenda." That means, thank you Diego, because you give us the proof that also a chico, a kid from a barrio is neighborhood, can become a legend. So, cioè, is not Diego, thank you for the first Scudetto and the second Scudetto and the UEFA Cup. Thank you to give us the proof that everything is possible. And also, if we are born in a poor neighborhood or in a or in a villa like him in Fiorito, you can become a world champion, you can become a legend, or you can become an example, and you with your life you can give the example to the other one. I don't know. This is Diego, and this is something that new players don't make. Of course, this is my point of view. Of course, I don't talk for Napoli players. I talk in general. When I saw, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi that went in the White House, for example, Diego never did. Or when in Qatar, with all the respect for the culture of this, but we know that these things are made for business, for marketing, for a lot of things. When I remember when Argentina won the Mundial and Messi was with the cup in his hand, I don't know, a guy put on his shoulder this black mantle. That is a traditional clothing, or yeah, with all the respect, but you are covering the colors of my nation. And I'm sure that Diego never did something like that. Never, 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 never. And I don't know if you never seen the movie, and I recommend you if you never seen Maradona by Kusturica, that is a Serbian director. Man, believe me, I think is the most beautiful movie about Diego. And there is an interview in the house where he was born in Villa Fiorito, where Diego said in these interviews, Los Americanos wanna give me a trophy. The Americans wanna give me a trophy, but in the same time, also in Cuba, they wanna give me a trophy. And during the interview say, Americano, I wanna go in Cuba to take the trophy.
Then such a character.
Yeah, but yeah, of course, if look, probably I'm a nerd about him, okay? But believe me that a lot of Neapolitans love him, of course, for what he did with football here in the city and etc. But all these things are things that people will remember, will remember. And I think this is the power that this is a very important power that he moved the feelings of the people, not only on the pitch, not only on the pitch. This is the power of Diego.
Yeah, coming back to this season, so we can see, of course, Napoli is currently sitting on third of the table as we record this session, but they're out of the Champions League and Coppa Italia. I think the target now is to just qualify for the Champions League, or maybe that's the bare minimum. Although the core team is same as the last season, why do you think they struggled this time, Alessandro?
I think that all the injuries of this season, we lost for a lot of time, for a lot of months, the best player of our teams. I mean, in the preseason, we lost Lukaku he went back in February, and we lost him the last August. And we lost De Bruyne, we lost Rachmani in the beginning of the season, and Neres. We lost a lot of them. I lost the count. Di Lorenzo actually is out. Now they are coming back. I think that the Champions League spot is the minimum. is the minimum, man. I told you I wanna dream the top of the table, but I hope that is the minimum. But this year, the level of the competition is, thanks God, is more high because Como is making a great championship, a good season, very good season. I hope for them that they will qualify in Champions League, but the Roma is going very well. We have Juventus. Atalanta is running for Europe, and and of course Inter and Milan are there. But I think that we have to stay like this. Look, like this. We don't have to go back to watch back to see back. Only right in front of you. AC Milan first, then we have to go there catch Inter. And
And if somebody stumbles in between, then you have a chance to grab the title. And
allora, if you look the calendar, Napoli calendar is very good. So we have the chance to, I don't wanna use this word, but but we have the chance to qualify in Champions League, okay? The next match, I mean, not with Cagliari, but the next important match, it will be Monday, 6 April against AC Milan. If we won this match, it will be a very interesting final of the season. But we have to win this. And I don't know, but I don't know if you've seen the last match of Napoli, but since we Kevin De Bruyne, Scott McTominay, Anguissa, Billy Gilmour, all these players, and we discovered a great Alisson Santos that we bought from Benfica, if I remember well. Imagine if Napoli had the entire football team available. Man, probably the championship was completely different because we can see the quality of the last match is completely different from some months ago that we were with just 11, 12 players and stop. The quality of the game is completely different. And I hope that we can the final of the season will be interesting.
yeah, I agree. And speaking of Scott McTominay, he was an important player last season, of course. Did it surprise you when he performed at that level? Because many people from Manchester, I mean, from England, would say that he was a Manchester United reject, and he left, and then he performed the level at what he did. But on the other hand, many players who left Manchester, they performed well when they left.
Yeah, yeah.
Including like Alexis and players like Lukaku was also there. Di Maria,
Ma-
Memphis Depay was another example. But Scott McTominay was an interesting because he was a young prospect, and he was very highly rated at one point, and then suddenly he was rejected, and then he ended up in Napoli. And good for him that he has a wonderful career now, right?
Man, I followed Manchester United for a lot of years. I'm not a fan, but I followed them for a lot of years. And since Sir Alex Ferguson left the bench, everything's went down. And I always thought, and Ronaldo said that in an interview, the problem are not the players. And a lot of, for example, Mourinho, that was the coach of Scott, he always said that he was great. But a lot of people from Manchester or from England in general told me that he was really good. He was really good prospect and he was a really good talent. I think Napoli give him the opportunity to express his best. And of course, I don't know, I think that the level of Premier League, of course, is more high than Serie A. Yeah, but it's a completely different game. Is more tactic, is not fast like Premier League, but more tactic, more defensive, and so on. And I think that one season MVP. Oh, he broke the rules, broke everything. But I remember the first game of him with us. I don't remember that it was the Italian Cup against Palermo, and he scored. I don't know if, but from the first touch with the ball, I saw something. Wow, we took a very good one, because I think that when a player give you the not the idea but the feeling that he's moving so easy, and he's making difficult things, I think we took a good one. Everything looks so easy, everything looks so simple when the ball is with him. So he is a very good one. And now he is I don't know the how his face turn. He looks no, I don't know. He's a beautiful guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's a
And with Napoli, it didn't even take so much time for him. So he was 1-2 matches, and then it already start clicking, and people were able to see what he could bring to his team. And it was nice for his career as well. So that's nice to see. And going to the next season, in which area do you think you need to improve, or you think that the current squad we have, we just have to keep them injury free, and we don't have to add anything?
This is another good question. We have to see if the next season we will lose some players. I mean, if someone will leave us, I don't know. I think that if you check the name of our players, we are full. We all the areas. I mean, defense, midfield, and the also the strikers. If we have everybody available, and never practically, we are very good. Probably I could add another defender, a good one, and stop. Because I mean, we have so many good. Probably someone is, for example, I think Politano is the 6 or 7 year next year. I mean, it will be the 7 year in with us. I don't know if uh, they want to continue or they want to close the circle. Uh, will depend from the transfer market, but I think this season it will be a very good lesson, because we lost so many players for injuring, and I think that Napoli wanna be prepared for next season, because I think at the beginning of the season there were good chance to win again. So I don't think that Napoli will miss the opportunity again.
Okay, I understand. And going forward, do you believe Antonio Conte is the right person to take you to the next step?
100%. I will be with him until the end. He is not only a coach, he's a mental coach, he's a leader, he's a man that have the capacity to give to the other players everything, and all the players give him everything. He's like a father. He's like I don't know. This is a very important, and the mentality. He is a winner. He wanna win again. Also, I wanna add also, if probably is not the most beautiful expression of football, the game of Antonio Conte. And I think his effect is not the football of Fabregas, but is a winner. And also, if we play dirty, we win. And the most important thing is the 3 points. Stop.
Yeah, Antonio Conte has his records, right? So he has done it in different leagues. He has won titles and trophies, etc. But when
Esatto.
I look at the history of Napoli, it would be interesting for me to see when he wins, and I hope he wins the fifth Scudetto, because no manager has did it twice, right? So it has always been one manager, and that's it.
Esatto. It's true. I hope, of course, that he is the right man to write the history again, to write the history again, and I really hope that with him he can I told you he's a winner, but he is not a winner in you. I mean, he never won a European title. I hope, because for him and for us, of course, that he can broke this malediction
Well,
with us.
yeah.
Could be amazing. Could be.
Yeah.
I really hope that, yeah, because of course I wanna that Napoli will win all the kind of trophies, all also the Nonno trophy. But of course, if we will win the fifth and Europa League or vabbè, Champions League could be amazing. With him, with him could be a revenge, and it will be something insane, insane. He's the man.
I, I will tell you my feelings. So, okay, Napoli has already won recently, and hope it continues for a long time. And then you don't have to wait, let's say, another 33 years for the next one. But it would be amazing if they make it to the Champions League, you know. And I think you have the right manager, and I think you almost have the right team. Although I think it is still not the strongest when you compare it, not in Italy, but around Europe. That would be like crazy, and I hope that happens because a Serie title is already done. You know, you third and fourth, but this is the next step. And imagine if this you will be the first team from the south to win the Champions League, and it'll be crazy.
And I think
I
that
can't wait. Yeah,
it will be a party for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, I don't know. But not I could be by part because I'm a Napoli supporter, I'm from Napoli, etc. But it will be a very important message, not only for Napoli football team, but for the country, you know? It could be a victory that go outside from the pitch, could be something really massive, massive. I dream it. I dream it.
yeah. Moving on, Alessandro, can you please tell us about your project Religione Monoteistica? Did I spell it correctly?
Monoteistica.
Yeah, yeah. Which I imagine is focused on Maradona, but what inspired you, and what is it? What is the story that you want to share through this project?
I told you, Religione Monoteistica is a photographic project that I started in 2018 because, um, like a lot of people of my generation, I grew up with a lot of stories about Diego, a lot of anecdotes. Um, I grew up with a lot of video on YouTube, so the tape about Diego and so on. But uh, during my days in Napoli, and I saw Diego everywhere at the time, and I thought I have to document my personal Diego because I grew up with these stories, and now I wanna document this love because I'm sure that this love, first thing, this love is a document of our city, not only about the football culture, but about the city is a social and anthropological document from my point of view, because from the tributes of Diego, you can understand a lot of the love of Neapolitan or the passion of the people for Diego, for football, for everything, and also because I'm sure that probably one day the love for Diego of course will exist, still exist, but probably, I don't know, the expression of love could change, will change. I don't know. Probably in the next years we will not find murals, but we will find Diego candles, or we will find phrases and not portraits. I don't know. So I want to start to document these tributes, memories, anecdotes, because I stop people and I start to talk with them to and make small video. And can you tell me your best memory about Diego, your best thing, blah blah blah. A kind of big archive of the love between Diego and Napoli. So in the project is still in progress because I started in 2018 and now are 8 years of project, something like that. Yeah, 8 years, I think. And I did a fanzine that I released in 2023, a small one, that is only the project between 2018 and 2023. Now I'm working on the new edition. I wanna turn the fanzine in a coffee book, so a big book. And another important step that I did with my project, I realized the dream to go in Argentina and to document, because for a lot of years I documented the love of Neapolitans. But after the fanzine, I say to myself, okay, now I have to go where everything started, in the land of Diego. And yeah, I went in the places of the life of Diego. I went in Villa Fiorito. I went to La Paternal. To the La Paternal is the neighborhood of Argentinos Juniors. That was his first professional team ever. I went to La Bombonera. I went, for example, in La Plata, because he was the last football team of Diego as a coach was Gimnasia eFootball from La Plata. I went there and I tried to document the love of the Argentinian people and the love for Diego by them is of course more or less is the same like us, but here is more, I think, is more religious, a love for a god, really. Of course, also for them is a god, but the impression that I had in Argentina was when people talk about Diego, they talk about something of the neighborhood, something from the family, a parent, you know. They call me too. I call him Diego. I don't call him Maradona because he's so close to me in my life. And a lot of Neapolitans did the same thing, but for Argentina, I never heard an Argentinian that said Maradona. Always Diego, el Dieguito, el Pelusa, really so close. Also, I tried to document this love, and thanks God I had the opportunity to interview some people very close to Diego, like Daniel Arcucci. Daniel Arcucci wrote the biography of Diego. He is a journalist and he's a writer, of course. I did an interview with him. Victor Hugo Morales.
Really?
We did. Yeah, really. I did an interview with Eduardo Longoni, that is the photographer of The End of God. I did an interview with who is the last one? Victor Hugo Morales, Daniel Arcucci. Fernando Signorini. Fernando Signorini, his personal coach, personal trainer. And I tried to meet the people that had a contact with him or was part of his life, professional life, and also private life. And because I wanna, I don't know if of course, it will be a photographic project, a photographic book, but I wanna try to make more travel diary
Yep.
with all this memory, with all this interview. Of course, I don't make only interview with these famous people, but also with normal people like me, supporters of Argentinian people in general, because to just to try to document this love uh, in general. And for me it was so important because I created a beautiful relationship with Argentinian people, with Buenos Aires in general. Believe me, every year I want to come back. For example, the last year I returned in Buenos Aires because a magazine invited me in for a congress, the first international congress about Diego Armando Maradona in La UBA. La UBA is the University of Buenos Aires, and I had the opportunity to present Religione Monoteistica there, and for me was special, of course, because it was a pure emotion to be there, but also to try to give them the picture of the love of Neapolitans for Diego, because in this specific moment I was representing Napoli, and I will never forget the what people told me. For example, thank you, Ale, because a lot of us we don't have the opportunity to go to Napoli, but thanks to you and your work, uh, today in this classroom we went in Napoli for one day and to see
Mm.
off. For
Oh, that was
me,
so touching.
yeah, no, man, amazing, amazing. I count days until I will come back in Argentina. For me, is a beautiful country. And the love for Diego, the love for football in general, the football culture there is insane, and they are the most beautiful people, most kind people that I never met.
And for general people, where can they find your work? Of course, I'll try to put some links on the video, but where else can they find where else they can find this project if they want to check?
They can find it on Instagram because it's a it's a photographic project, so a lot of pictures are there. At the moment, only on Instagram. And of course, there is the book, the fanzine. The book is coming. The fanzine I'm selling the fanzine. I have still some copies, and I did everything by myself. It's an independent project. There is no editor. There is no. I did the picture. I wrote the text. I did the layout, and I printed online. And so on my website or on my Vinted, if people want to buy the book, they will find the link or the product there. And yeah, I did an exhibition during the congress. There were some picture in exhibition in La Uba, but at the moment the only place of Religione is Instagram. Unfortunately, I dream it will be a place where I can put a, because I love to print, man. I think there is no photographer that don't love to print the work. I hope to find the a place where I can leave a sequences of picture for Religione.
Yeah, I can only imagine the amount of work and effort and time you have put into this since you started this. So I hope it brings it goes to the public first, and then it brings that recognition. I mean that the amount of work that you have put in this project. I hope.
Thank you so
And
much.
since you're a photographer, I would like to ask which one is the most powerful photo that you have taken in this project? I mean, it is difficult to answer because, there are so many, there would be so many. But if you have to pick one
Do you mean in
in this project,
Religione Monoteistica? Okay, I
yeah,
will
yeah, yeah,
show you.
yeah.
There is a picture that I did in 2023, but there is a story behind. I tried to take this picture 3 times, and the first 2 times I was rejected by the owner of this picture, and thanks God, after the 3rd time, he said, "Okay, you can do it." But I think is the most representative picture of the project. I will show you. I have just to find because I posted a lot of time ago.
Or you can
And
send me later on. That's not a problem.
okay, no, but is here. I don't have so many posts, but is I will find it. This one. Allora, look, I don't know if you can see very well. You can see there is a picture of
Yeah, I
Diego
see it. Yeah, yeah.
here, and this picture of Diego is inside a mechanic. You can see there are all the keys here, an old television, And usually in this kind of place in Napoli, you can find a picture of Madonna or San Gennaro. I mean, religious stuff. Here there is Diego. I think, and in Napoli, in a lot of places like that, you can find something of Diego. But for me, this is probably the real Religione Monoteistica, because in a very common and place of the city, like a mechanic, you can find the love for Diego and for our eternal number 10. And this picture was made by the mechanic, the owner of this garage. And it's beautiful because I don't know if it's possible, but here you can see there are some blonde hairs very close to Diego, because the story behind this picture, the owner told me, he was trying to take a picture to his son with Diego, but his son was very, very, very young, and they were in a restaurant, a very important restaurant of Napoli, and there were two rooms. In a room, there were a birthday of a friend of his son, and in the other room, there were secretly Diego.
Oh
When
my
the
God.
yeah, when the people discovered that in the other room there were Diego, everybody moved from the birthday to the room for Diego, and all the kids were around him, but they were just kids. So they didn't understand that they were with the most important player of Napoli. And the father, the mechanic, was just trying to take a picture to his son with Diego. And the only part of his son that he
It is the
took
hair.
is just the hair and stop. No, but not for the story behind, but I mean the composition. This is where you can find the tributes for Diego in the city. For me,
Amazing.
this is the most important picture.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, I'll check your Instagram page, but I can't wait to see the other pictures, because this one is really something. Yeah. I have another interesting question for you. For example, if I give you a time machine and you're allowed to take your camera with you, if you could capture one moment in Napoli history, what would it be?
Wow, in Napoli history. Wow.
For me, I think
Allora,
it would be the first Scudetto, but maybe it's for you, it's different.
no, 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 no. It will be the first Scudetto, I will tell you. But not only for Diego in general, but because the 80s were very, and in football terms, were probably the golden age. If was not were not the golden age, was a very good moment for us. But in general, the 80s was a really interesting moment, but also a very difficult moment for the city, because the Camorra was in his prime. There were a lot of violence. Napoli was dangerous, and not really dangerous like the media told you, but was dangerous. There were a war between the clan of the Camorra, so it was not easy at the time. There were poverty. There was not a really, but there were a lot of freedom in general in the 80s all over the world. But for me, it could be amazing to just to have an idea of the 80s in Napoli, to watch Diego, the feeling, or just with analogic moments, no internet, no,
Yeah.
just to enjoy football. And yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought of this thing a lot of times, and yeah, probably I will say the first Scudetto,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, for me, I think
100%.
it would be the same. Yeah, I mean, we are coming towards the end of the session now, but there is this one thing that I always do with my guest. If you're allowed to pick your starting 11 from any era, who
Ooh, allo wow,
who
this
would
is
be
a
in it?
very
And
beautiful, beautiful question. Eh,
I think maybe we move to the formation first, and then it makes easier for us to put the players
ma
into the.
let me ask you something. We are talking the best 11 of Napoli. or in
No,
general?
in general, it's yours, like from any era, you know. So
Any era of any play.
yeah,
I wanna. I want.
I
Okay.
mean, it could be Napoli, it could be just Napoli, but it should not be. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I
No,
give
no.
you full
Allora,
keys.
okay. You give me the full keys. I will do it, and I win with just one exception. I wanna make my best 11 with the players that I saw, not
That's
only
okay.
with
That's
not
fair.
because I never seen Diego, for example, but I seen great players, and I will give you my personal best 11. Buffon, goalkeeper. Cafu, Sergio Ramos, Maldini, and Marcelo, probably, I will say. Midfield, Pirlo, Iniesta, Zidane. Here there is the difficult part. For my for my idea of football, I say Messi, Ronaldinho, and striker. I don't know if to say Andriy Shevchenko prime because I remember him. Andriy Shevchenko or I don't know another striker, Karim Benzema. Another player that I really love, for example, Luis Suarez in Liverpool back in the days in Liverpool. El Niño Torres in 2008 was amazing. Probably my first choice as a striker is Andriy Shevchenko prime. I was really in love with him. Old school striker was uh, insane. But or Karim Benzema. But for example, in the midfield, I don't told you another player that I really love that is Toni Kroos.
Tony Cruz. Okay.
Toni Kroos that I was in love with him. But yeah, I confirm Pirlo, Zidane, Iniesta, and Ronaldinho, Messi, Andriy Shevchenko.
Okay, and then I believe it's a 4-3-3 formation. Buffon in the goal, and then Ramos, Cafu, Maldini, Marcelo, Pirlo, Iniesta, Zidane in the midfield. Then up forward, Ronaldinho, Messi, and Shevchenko.
Po, 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 po. Buffon, Cafu, Sergio Ramos, Maldini, Marcelo.
Hmm?
Pirlo, Zidane, Iniesta,
Mhm.
Messi, Shevchenko, Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho. Perfect.
Sì.
Wonderful.
4-3-3.
Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. But I was expecting a Napoli player there. Was a little bit surprising.
But I don't know, but I told you that for example, as a striker, El Matador Cavani in his prime was insane. Higuain in his prime in Napoli was insane, insane, really, really. But I told you I wanna choose only the players that I saw. But I can put, for example, Dries Mertens, there for Ronaldinho. But he, I, Ronaldinho is a Ballon d'Or was another kind of player.
I can totally understand, because also it was only recent years when Napoli really made the headlines, and also the fact that you cannot replace Shevchenko with somebody from Napoli. I think, I mean, Cavani maybe comes closest, or maybe
Probably
Higuain,
Higuain,
but
probably Higuain,
b-
but
but he was a
but
Ballon d'Or winner. Shevchenko in his prime
was a
was
Ballon d'Or winner, but he was insane. Really, it was a very very. But yeah, probably Wayne could be a very beautiful match between them. But Shevchenko was. I remember him when he was young. He was un, insane, really. But yeah, if you want, we can make the best 11 Napoli, but only with the players that I saw. And is interesting because probably I choose Ospina as a goalkeeper.
Spina.
David Ospina was really, really, really good. Di Lorenzo, Koulibaly, yeah, Kim. or Koulibaly and Rachmani. The left, on the left, Ghulam. Man, Ghulam, I don't know if Fouzi Ghulam in 2006, 2017 before the injury was amazing, amazing, really. Then for my conception for the midfield, for my idea of football, I will choose. Um,
Scott
yeah,
McTominay.
it's not easy. Wait, Scott for sure. Fabian Ruiz. The Fabian Ruiz was really, really smart and very good. A lot of people don't understood him. Uh, and then let me Marek Hamsik. Marek Hamsik, 100%. Here we have problems. Dries Met, probably Kvara, Mertens, and first striker El Matador Cavani. But he's a very good challenge with Gonzalo Higuain. I have to say the truth.
Okay.
But I choose El Matador. I
Victor
don't told
Victor
you Late.
Osimhen doesn't. Sorry.
No, Ossi on the bench, but third
Okay.
option.
Okay.
Matador, Higuain, Ossi. But I don't told you another player that I really loved and all the city loved was Lavezzi. That was really, really Ocho was really, really, really good. But yeah, this is my best 11.
Awesome. Great. And if you have to choose one player that really inspired you when you were young, the one player that you looked into it as your idol, let's say, who would that be? I mean, I'm pretty sure he would make it in the starting 11 that you already mentioned. Just wanted to know.
Man, this is a really good question. Uh, I wanna exclude from this question Lionel Messi. Okay, I wanna. Okay, we don't consider him. And a player that I remember very, very, very well was Ricardo Kaká. Kaká was not my idol, but I saw him. But I remember. I told you I grew up with AC Milan. And I saw a beautiful generation of players: Clarence Seedorf. I saw Andrea Pirlo. I saw Kaká. Kaká was amazing. Kaká was in his prime was insane. But there are a lot of another player that I really love and inspired. But I don't say that an idol is someone for me is someone that I'm obsessed with him. And for me, probably is only Messi that I'm really obsessed with him. But another player that I loved and for me was beautiful to see and still is Angelito Di Maria.
Mm,
That was. I told you before, Tony Cross, for
mhm,
example.
yeah.
But there are so many, so many. But
When we were having the discussion with Pedro, I touched on the Di Maria, and there was this stat that says Di Maria actually won. I mean, after Messi, he has won the highest number of titles and individual medals. So he went to different leagues, and then he won. I think four of them. It was amazing. I mean, no other player comes closer. I mean, no other Argentinian players come closer to what he achieved in terms of
no, no, no,
personal.
no.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
if you, I don't know how to say, but I'm happy he won, for example, he won a Champions League with the Real Madrid. He played for Manchester United, probably not the best Manchester United of the history, but he played for Juventus. He did a beautiful career, and I'm sad that he don't became a legend of only one team. Yeah, he played for Benfica, and for Benfica, for example, it will be a legend. But I think that unfortunately, he is not a flag like Totti or because the potential he could be the I don't know. I think always why Real Madrid sold him, but because they both bail in yeah, they spend money always, but Di Maria was an eternal number 10 for me. I was so happy when Argentina won because he won, and of course
Yes,
for Messi,
yes,
but also
yeah,
for him because he deserved it. He deserved it.
yeah. I think he retired now, so I don't think we'll. I will miss him personally in this World Cup. I mean, in the 2026 World Cup.
So he's still playing for Rosario Central in his
Yes,
child.
but from the national team, I don't know if he would be
No,
still
no,
be
no.
playing. Yeah,
From the national team, he retired. Yeah. See,
yeah,
see.
yeah. And your because it's the World Cup year, what are your expectations this time? Who do you think
This is
is the
a good question. I think first thing, I don't know if Italy will qualify. First. Second thing, I think that there will be an underdog in this Mundial. I don't know if it still is Morocco or I don't know, another nation with not a huge football history. I still don't know. I'm thinking this thing, and the team to beat are always Spain and Argentina.
okay?
And
Okay, that's
I don't know why the FIFA delayed the finalissima, of course, yeah, for the situation in the world, but um, Italy was a good spot, or England was a good spot, or Germany was a good spot to play La Finalissima in a neutral pitch, and because probably was an opportunity to see the level of the two team, also for a prediction on the Mundial. But man, there are always France, Germany, they we don't I don't mention it them, but they are always good. Brazil, Brazil, Ancelotti probably is the underdog.
who knows? Yeah, and what's the current situation of Italy? So whom they? So I think they're kind of like in the knockout stage now. They need to beat somebody in order to qualify, or
Yeah, beat Ireland, North Ireland. I don't know. I don't have good expectation from this thing.
but you feel that this time it would be one of the underdog teams that could surprise everybody in the World Cup.
Who? Northern Ireland, of course.
Oh.
No, no. Also, if we will qualify knockout stage and we are back home.
Okay, okay. So not
I don't
much high expectations, I
I
said.
hope that I'm saying bullshit, of course. But if I the I don't know, the level of the this generation of players, I don't know. I believe me, I wanna for example, when we won the European Cup in 2021 was so unexpected. I really hope that Italy could be the underdog, but I don't think so. Really don't think so.
Okay, okay. I get you. I understand. So we have come to the end of the session, and thank you so much, Alessandro. I cannot imagine how much I enjoyed talking with you. And by the way,
Thank
this
you.
one is the
Me too.
longest session that I had with one of my guests. And I enjoyed every second of it. By the way, it was
Me too.
totally
Me too.
totally amazing, and just wanted to have your perspective on certain things, your project, your visit to Argentina, and your invitation to the university there, and the picture that you've taken. So many stories. I'm just full for the whole week now, so I don't need anything. I'll just search more on the stories, and of course, I will. Check the Instagram pictures as well. I cannot wait to see the other pictures, and I'll try to put the link here somewhere so that other people can
Thank you.
also
Thank
find
you.
out.
And thank you for this opportunity. Really. I really appreciate.
No
Grazie.
problem. Yeah, I
And
also saw your other video. It was really good, but this one was kind of like a little bit. We dig a little bit deeper and broader into certain areas. That I really enjoyed.
and if you will come in Napoli, I will wait you, of course.
Definitely, I think you'll be the first person that I meet when I go there. Yeah.
Va bene, va bene.
Imagine both of us were meeting for the first time, and then the volcano erupts.
Yeah, there is a way
Uh,
to say. A Russian friend of mine told me there is a conception abroad. You have to visit Venice, before the water covered the city, and you have to visit Napoli before the eruption of.
Okay, I was lucky enough to be in Venice, so next time I'm pretty sure I'll be there. Thank you so much, Alessandro. It was amazing. Grazie. Ciao.